All right, we are back in 51, and we're back for the second part of the lecture on November 3rd. And what I'm going to do today is just show you a short video on how to make one PDF, in case you're struggling with that, one PDF in a DWG file and make one PDF with multiple sheets. I'm going to show you the video, and that will be it for the lecture for today. And then go into lab time, and the video is about 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes long, and so that will take us just about to 2 o'clock with any discussions that might have on that. And hopefully this will be somewhat helpful. I cannot remember if I posted this video for this class or not, but if I haven't, I was probably the assumption that you guys knew how to do that, but I can see by some of the packets coming in, there might be a little bit of a challenge in remembering how to do this. So I'm going to show this video. As always, you can post any questions either about the video or about anything we just talked about, amenities or anything else. Post it in there and we can discuss it before we get into lab time, because I would like to make sure everybody, if you don't mind, have all the conversation revealed to everybody in the class, because that really helps everybody, I think. James Meek says it is the easiest thing if you don't pay for Adobe Acrobat. All right, great point, James. Let me ask you this. Is there not a free version of Adobe? James,
there is, but the merge function is premium.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's really interesting. That must have changed then, because I don't remember that being an issue. So, you know what? Let me do some investigation.
That's if you have them already as PDFs. If you were going to export into it, take the files and turn them into PDFs from Adobe, I think you can do that as one.
Okay. So maybe there's a two-step function converting each drawing to a PDF and then merging them together. Maybe that's the ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll show this anyway. James, thanks for that comment on that. And I'm going to do a little investigation on my end and see if I can't better help facilitate all of you to have the proper tools. So, James, thank you very much for that info. All right, we'll go ahead and listen to this. As always, post anything, or let's have some conversation at the after this, either about the video or anything we've talked about on the lecture. All right. Let me just get over to it, and we should be ready to go. And you guys can put it in the chat box, or the way I have it set up. You can put in the chat box if you can't hear it or see it. All right, I'm going to show you how to make one PDF when you have multiple sheets in your drawing sheet set. Right now I have 5 sheets. I've done an example of the elevations as I did an example video of the elevation, how to get it started. These are obviously not complete, but just to give you a sample on how to make a sheet, one sheet PDF when you have multiple sheets in here. So again, you go to the big, after you save this, make sure you have to save it. You have to save it first, and then go to the big A for Anaheim Angels. Go to Export and PDF. You'll get this window here. This is up at the top. Will say state where you're going to save it in, what file folder. Have that already set up. And then up here is a file name. Down here is a file name. So I'm going to go ahead and change that file name to a current date, which is the 17th today. And that's the file I'm going to save.
So the next option is look over here at export. If you just want to do the one sheet, you'll leave it on current layout. Current layout. That will just do the sheet that you have activated, and it will only PDF that one sheet. If you wanted to PDF all the sheets, the drop down and go all layouts. The assignment coming up next week, you'll be doing one PDF for your on your D sheet of your north-south elevation. You use this setting. You'll first click on north-south elevation before you start this, and then you'll go big A for the Anaheim Angels, drop down, export PDF, and then make sure it says current layout over here at export current layout. Rearrange this here. If you want to put in, this would probably be better to say final project, and I'll put I have my initials in there, and then I'll put right after my initials, if I can get it to go in there, I'll put north N, I'm sorry, N, capital S, and get a space in there, north south, and I'll put ELV elevations, and that's what I'm going to be sending in. So then after you get that done, I'll just be able to save it. And it generated a PDF, and if I want to check that, I will go to my file folder, to my desktop, to the 1305 class, and it should have the final project north-south elevation PDF right here. And I'll just open that up. That is one PDF. There's not multiple sheets in here, one PDF, and that's what you want to send. So that's how you do one sheet set if you have multiple sheets in your drawing already set up. I just want to give you that information. It also tells you how to do multiple sheets if that's a requirement, which will be for your final project submission. You'll be sending in a PDF of all your sheets, one PDF of all 5 sheets, and then you also will be sending in a DWG file. Hopefully that helps. As always, any questions, email me. Thanks so much for listening. Take care. All right, I'm going to show you how to make
All right, so obviously that wasn't exactly the video I had planned for you, because I showed you how to make a PDF of one sheet. But if you did pick up on there, if you're making multiple, you're making a PDF of multiple sheets, you choose all layouts when you go to that. So if I can do this real quick, and I'll just show you live time as well. Probably have too many other. I don't have a sample file opened up, so let me just find that real quick. Hold on one second. I don't know why that popped up. All right, so here I have, let me share this with you. James again says, maybe you can share your screen while you're in AutoCAD. Yes, I'm going to right now, James. Thank you for that, and I will share that. This is just a sample, so ignore the drawings. This is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets. This is like the master title block started, and I've done some other stuff to it. I just want to show you real quick what I was trying to show you in the video. I didn't realize that video was for one PDF. It did tell you how to make one PDF of multiple sheets, but not exactly what I wanted to show you. All right. So here we have, we're in model space, and if you look down here, we have our different sheets. And if you want to pretend for a second, these are all D sheets or whatever, but we're going to make one PDF of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets. Yeah, 5 sheets. So you can choose any one of these sheets to be on when you get ready to do this. Now, you don't want to be in model space. You want to be on one of the sheets. So I'm on the 8.5 by 11, but I'm going to make one PDF of all these sheets. 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, C, D, and layout 1 Arch D. All right, so again, to the big A for the Anaheim Angels, do the drop down, and then you go to Export and PDF. You just hover over Export and then go to PDF. All right, so now, James, do you have a comment? Oh, okay. So now you are at this window here. And what it will default to, typically, because I've done this before, what will default to is when you're going to export current layout. That's the things you want to change. But before we do that, I just want to emphasize, make sure you know where you're sending the PDF to, because this is where it says it's a save as when you're converting it through this function. So make sure you know where you're saving it to. I'll go ahead and send it to my desktop, and I'll call this, I'll go ahead and put another date in it so it will go through. Otherwise, it will ask me if I'm replacing it. And the file name in it you want, your initials, and that's another reminder. Make sure everybody, whether you're watching this recording later on or in class right now, please put your initials in the drawings as well. Make sure that I know who they're from, because I'm going to have multiple drawings open up. Just it makes it a lot easier. All right, so name the file correctly, what you want. Make sure you know where it's going to, and then right over here where it says export, you're going to do, you're going to change that drop down, hit the drop down, and do all layouts. Now it's going to do all of these sheets that we have listed down here, all 5 sheets. If I would have left it on current layout, I would have just PDF just this one 8.5 by 11, because that's the sheet that I have selected. I'm going to go ahead and do all layouts. And that's pretty much all you have to do, know where it's going, and hit save. And then we should have that at our desktop. And there's the master title block dated today. And as I'm just moving the scroll button. Sorry about that. And or you can use the arrow button. I thought it's not. I have to use the scroll button. And I'm just scrolling through the different sheets. This is all in one PDF. So there's my 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, my C, and my 2D sheets. That's how you do it. That's simple. Any questions on that? Go Angels. So James is one that had my class previous, and I always call the big A for the Anaheim Angels. And that's a whole nother story, right, James? Anyway, Larry, go ahead.
On the initials, do you want that on everything we turn in from now on?
Yes, please. All files.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for asking that. Good clarification. Yes, and I haven't been marking off on that. I've just been asking you to do that. So. All right. And there was something else. Oh, make sure you put the, if you're doing the front yard landscape project, make sure that you put that on each sheet. I think it's all D sheets so far. So the D sheet submissions, just make sure you have landscape front yard project or front yard landscape project to indicate what project it is. Because as we start moving into the TCC Garden Rotunda project, you want to keep them separated, not only for me, but for yourself in separate files. Again, make sure that you are doing your drawings in one file. So right up here is the file name for this. I would save this as master title block as the front yard project. And then I would do all my drawings in here, whether it's on amenities, site plan, SWOT, everything I would do in here. Then I would have each sheet that is needed for each submission made down here. So it's all D sheets so far. Once you get that first D sheet set up correctly, all you have to do is select it and then right click on it and then go to move or copy. And I know this is a reminder for a lot of you already know how to do it. And I'm gonna create a copy, select that, and I'm gonna create a copy of the Arch D sheet. So make sure that's selected. Hit OK, and then look down here, and then another Arch D of the same information in the title block was made. So you don't have to go through. You'll have to edit some things in the title block, obviously, but you won't have to edit everything. All right, and then James says, can you copy the D layout tab for us? I didn't even see your request, James. James McGuinn, again, I'm sorry. I know, I just went ahead and did it. Was that good, James? All right. I guess great minds think alike, right, James? All right. All right, so hopefully all that was helpful. Just trying to help you guys. And like I said, from the very first statement this morning, there I go. This afternoon, the start of class, whatever I'm not giving you guys that is discouraging you, please let me know. I don't want this to be a discouraging class. I want this to be, I was going to say entertaining. I don't think it's too entertaining, but Javier said it was helpful. Okay, thanks, Javier. I appreciate that feedback. Not entertaining, but I want it to be, I want you guys to learn. I want you to be challenged, but I don't want you to be just strutted and walk away and just kind of mumbling. Of course, you don't have to mumble at home because I can't hear you, but if we were in a classroom and you walk out of the class just kind of mumbling, going, whatever the problem is, I want to know, because it helps me grow as an instructor and it will help you enjoy the class more, right? I want you to enjoy this. I don't want it to be a burden on you. And some of you might not like landscaping at all, and you're just going through it because you want to get that drafting degree and building civil and just get through this. And I understand that. Landscaping is not for everybody. And I don't know if my passion comes through in my voice, but I love the outdoors. I love God's creation and everything that's there. And that's why one of my biggest passions is not only CAD, but it's landscape. And I understand it doesn't work for everybody. I'm trying to make this as enjoyable as possible for everybody. So please help me make it enjoyable. I just noticed my tool palette is at an angle. I don't know why. Anyway, so that's it. Any other comments? Everybody else good? James Meek, go ahead.
Maybe I'm jumping ahead here on the homework assignment, lab assignment. Do you want us to still include all the softscape that we had, or are we just putting this item in it on there?
Okay, so we're talking packet 3, right?
Yes.
Get caught up to you, James. And assignment, which one?
2.
Assignment 2. Okay, for your front yard landscape. And I apologize, you guys, when you email me or we're talking and I'm like, ask me a question about assignment and I'm like just brain dead on it. I guess it's my capacity. I just can't hold everything in here. That's why I have to refer back to it. So bear with me. Assignment 2 says, for your front yard landscape project, submit a D sheet showing the site amenities that you will incorporate in your design. Okay, so your question one more time, James?
If you just want to see the amenities, or if you want to see the softscape, like the plants and stuff that we were going to be using also?
Yes, great question. So yes, to your question, I want you to include everything you have on there. So now everything is kind of like building. So now the
Mhm.
plant, everything you have on there, all that information, just add your amenities into there, whatever they are, one or two, or you know, like James, you said that you were doing zero escape, so maybe just be a couple. But that's what you'll add into it, and then call them out. Don't just say pot with plant in it. You know, a clay pot with
Yes.
plant. Call it, be a little more specific. Call it out. But yes, add that to your entire. And I'll change that up. Say that to add that to your existing plan to make that
The
more.
Yeah, the main reason I asked that is because my dad's been like real helpful with showing me examples and stuff of like projects he's worked on, and some of them it's just like each sheet shows pretty much pretty much the items that they want only on there,
Right.
and then there's like a master sheet, and so I was just wondering how exactly are we doing this?
Yeah, and that I didn't want to create too big of a sheet set because you're actually right. Um, and they get into a lot more detail and they funnel that detail down to individual sheets. So it's kind of like a layer process where you have a base and it builds on all these layers. And now you have a final product at the end. Um, and we'll be doing that actually with the irrigation. We're going to make a separate sheet for irrigation, a separate sheet for detail sheet. We just don't really, I didn't want to take up too much more um, sheet sets or add to the sheet sets to have just one for amenities. Especially with like you, James, you know, if you have one or two, it's okay to have one or two. But if somebody has, you know, three or four, I wanted to just be able to see how that is incorporated with their entire site. So I will change that up. Good point, James. I will change that. Thanks for that. Anything else? All right. All right. So it's 2:13. I will be here till 3:15. Answer any questions in lab time. And that will conclude the lecture today. And James again says, when you share your screen, it helps a lot. Absolutely, yeah. I try to share it as much as I can. And if I don't, James, if I forget to share it and I'm talking about something, please remind me like you did. That was very helpful. Thank you. All right, so I'll be here till 3:15. 3:15. That concludes today's lecture, and I'll get this changed on packet 3, assignment 2, to show the entire site, everything you got going, the plants, all the notes, everything on there, and just add the amenities into that and then call them out. Very good. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for your time, your attention. I appreciate you guys are a great class. I really do enjoy it. I want to make it enjoyable for you. And so if I don't talk to you, I will see you tomorrow. Oh, and for those who are watching the recording and have not taken the pop quiz, please get a hold of me to take that pop quiz. I want to finish that up so we can review the pop quiz before the midterm comes up, because there will probably be some questions similar on the midterm. All right. If I don't talk to you, I'll talk to you tomorrow, and I will be here if you're going to hang out today for lab time. Take care.